The movie begins in some prison in France where we meet Sam, a man of few words who just wants to serve his sentence without problems. That's why he stays away from a fight in the gym that broke out over a simple misunderstanding. Back in his cell, the trainer congratulates him for keeping his cool at that moment, and he is sure that, unlike the others in this hole, Sam really will have a new chance out there. And he wasn't wrong, because sometime later we see Sam getting out on parole. The opportunity to start fresh is in his hands, but that doesn't mean his past will leave him alone. On the contrary, he is soon intercepted by some gang members sent by Farhad, his former boss. True to his promise, the protagonist refuses to work for Farhad again, despite the risks that come with saying no. The man moves on with his new life, finding a place to sleep and a job as a laborer, thanks to his super dedicated parole supervisor. During a rainy day at work, Sam witnesses a cement mixer fall right on top of his co-worker Issa, pinning his leg. Sam jumps into action, pulling him out of that situation. After the incident, Issa thanks him for his help, admitting that if it hadn't been for Sam, his leg would be in worse shape. At the end of the workday, Sam receives some good news from the foreman. Once his parole period is over, he'll have a full-time contract. Sam excitedly heads home, although his joy fades when he sees Farhad's gang members waiting for him. This time there are more of them. Sam starts running and hides in the same building where he works. Unfortunately, one of the thugs is waiting for him there. He has no choice but to defend himself. And that's what happens. When he defends himself, he ends up killing him. With a death on his hands, Sam is forced to leave France, where it seems he'll never find peace. But no matter how far he runs, his past will always catch up to him. He lands in a humble fishing village in Bang Chan, Thailand. Gone are the rustic streets of France. Now he gets his feet wet every day to put food on the table. A table with more than one chair. That's right, Sam is now a family man. His wife Mia and his daughter Dara are the most beautiful gift Thailand has given him, and the best part is that another baby is on the way. He came here in search of peace and ended up finding love. What more could he ask for in life? Money, without a doubt. Although he works hard in the village, fishing is not enough to support his family, so he has a second job handling luggage, while his wife manages a restaurant bar. Still, it's not enough. Sam's main income comes from a place he isn't exactly proud of, a fighting ring. For someone who rejects violence, he's quite good at throwing punches. He partly owes this to Hansa, his veteran trainer who always has the right advice for each situation. Among the spectators, he recognizes Sambat, Mia's boss and a friend of the family. Well, I'm not sure how much of a friend he is if he's betting against you in your next fight. In that upcoming match, Sam receives orders from his biggest bettor to win, but specifically to win in the last round. However, when he notices Sambat is worried about his future victory, Sam has no choice but to let himself lose. If Sambat loses money, his family will suffer too. To get over that bitter moment, he goes to the beach with his wife and daughter, who remind him why he does what he does. Before the day ends, Sam and Mia head to buy a plot of land they've had their eye on for some time. Mia has always wanted to open her own restaurant. While an official checks their legal documents, we learn Mia has French roots and had Dara with a man who abandoned her in France. Aside from that, her papers are in order. It's Sam's that pose a problem. He doesn't even have an ID from his native country. The official refuses to transfer the land to them. When Mia complains, the official says a new buyer has come forward with a better offer. Although this news crushes Mia, Sam steps in to cheer her up, assuring her they'll find another solution. That night, Sam goes to see Sombat to get some information on the person who wants to buy the land, a guy named Narong. For some time now, Narong has practically taken over half the coast. Sombat says he'll talk to him, but he can't promise anything since Narong is quite dangerous. Eventually, Sam sets up a meeting with Narong and his right-hand man, Kasem. Both of them find Sam's proposal to purchase the beachfront land amusing, commenting that he's not the first Farang, a foreigner in Thai, to be seduced by a Thai woman. For those who don't know, Farang means foreigner, and foreigners can't buy property in Thailand. However, seeing that Sam is serious, Narong remembers that just as he once came to this country, seeking opportunities, someone gave him a chance. Now it's his turn to do the same for Sam. The question is, what can Sam do for him? Simple. He only has to move something at the airport, taking advantage of the fact that he works there. Immediately, the protagonist accepts this little job from Narong, receiving a suitcase he must bring to the airport. Its contents? Drugs, of course. Under Narong's watchful gaze, Sam tries to hide his nerves and carries the luggage the same way he always does. But his cover is blown when he sees a drug-sniffing dog. The man runs like never before, escaping the airport and hiding in the nearby jungle until the guards lose track of him. Back in the village, he notices some suspicious men who clearly aren't there for a friendly visit. The protagonist rushes home and tells his family to pack. Unfortunately, the thugs are already waiting at the door. This is what happens when you fail Narong. Sam fights back using his fists. Although his effort is impressive, it's useless because the thugs take his daughter, and while trying to protect Mia, Sam receives a blow to the head that knocks him out. In that state, he can only watch as they slit his wife's throat. With their work done, Qasim and the killers pour gasoline over the house, and Narong sets it on fire. It seems like the story is over, but we wouldn't be here if that were the case. During the fire, an unconscious Sam falls into the lake and is soon rescued by Hansa, his trainer, who cares for him over the next 2 weeks. Over those weeks, Sam, in the midst of his agony, is tormented by visions of his wife's ghost. As soon as he gets out of bed, the protagonist insists he's going to find his daughter, though Hansa believes she's probably dead by now. When he reunites with Sombat, the latter tells him that Narong has returned to Bangkok, while Qasim stayed in Bangchan. He's not exactly inviting Sam to look for him. Taking advantage of the fact that everyone believes Sam is dead, Sombat advises him to leave. Go as far as possible. Leave this life behind yet again. Of course, that's easier said than done. Sam can't just turn the page, not when there's a child waiting to be rescued. After asking around everywhere, Sam arrives at the brothel Qasim frequents. The women, in exchange for money, reveal Qasim's hideout on a hill outside of town. Sam tries to infiltrate quietly, but stealth soon ceases to be an option. Disguised as a guard, he blends into the party, or so he thinks, because a woman manages to recognize him. Following Qasim's steps, Sam finds himself cornered by guards who force him to get his hands dirty. Finally, Qasim appears from his hiding place and tries to shoot the protagonist, but Sam disarms him just in time. Before leaving this world, Qasim confesses that Dara is still alive and that he knows exactly where she is. Did he really think he could get away with it? With no more bad guys to interrogate, Sam asks the remaining women about his daughter, and they tell him that the little girls are taken directly to Bangkok, specifically to Chinatown. Before he embarks on that trip, Hansa gives him a sword that's been passed down through his family for generations and an amulet that protected his grandfather in the war. Though Sam doesn't want to accept these gifts, Hansa insists they'll help him in his crusade, and he plans to help him as well. Life already took a son from him. He doesn't intend to lose another. While they prepare for their journey, they discover that Sombat has sold the restaurant and fled south. He doesn't want to be dragged into Sam's rash mission, nor does he want to help him in what he sees as a direct ticket to death. Even so, Sam and Hansa get to Bangkok by boat and start looking for Dara. In a Chinatown club, the protagonist pretends to be a customer interested in underage girls. The club's manager is about to take him to see them, but then he grabs her and demands to know Dara's whereabouts. A guard quickly tries to stop him, or tries to, anyway, because Sam smashes his head with a pool ball. With the right threat, the club manager agrees to tell him where Narong lives. Following that information, Sam and Hansa head to a fish processing plant owned by Narong. That's where the old man shows how his amulets are used. While Hansa distracts the guards, Sam asks the workers about his daughter until one of them discreetly tells him to follow her. That's how the protagonist gains access to the area where the children are working. Dara might be there. After taking out the guards, he asks the girls about Dara, and they say she was there for a while, but she was taken away by boat the day before. At least Narong is still around, although the path to him is full of obstacles, many obstacles. Using only his fists, Sam forces his way through the hallway, slaughtering anyone who dares to stop him. With Hansa covering his back, he slips into the elevator that leads to his target. Inside, he faces Narong's best assassins, who do not make it easy for him, and surrender is not an option. Knowing Sam is close, Narong greets him with a gun in hand, though he lets down his guard upon seeing how badly hurt Sam is. While the protagonist suffers, Narong triumphantly reveals they were always on his trail. It turns out the thug Sam accidentally killed in France was Farhad's brother. Consequently, Farhad sent Qasem to track him. Eventually, they set a trap for Sam, and Sombat gave up the location of his home for a small amount of money. As for Dara, she apparently never left Bangchan. Sombat has been hiding her from the start. With that said, Narong proceeds to strangle Sam, but Sam summons strength from who knows where. With a shard of glass stuck in his arm, he catches Narong off guard and sends him straight to hell. On his way out, the protagonist finds a badly wounded Hansa, who was waiting to see him one last time before passing on. Back in Bangchan, Sam confronts Sombat, who confesses he was always in love with Mia, even more than Sam was. The least he could do was take care of her daughter. Not satisfied with this explanation, Sam raises his gun, but right before pulling the trigger, a familiar voice calls to him. It's his little Dara. Reunited with his daughter, Sam heads off toward home.
If you want interesting movie recaps, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.